Birdman videos. Today, the goal is to put together, if you haven't guessed already, a pedal board. So, this is, I'm going to do a bunch of breaks in this video so you don't have to sit here and watch me put a whole pedal board together. But I wanted to just kind of give you a run through of the steps to put a pedal board together from design all the way through to the finished product, and then get a steady shot here of the stuff I'm working with, and then comparing that maybe to something like an all-in-one product like the Line 6 Pod HD 500 or like an ME 50 or 80 or whatever the other ones are from Boss. They also have the GT series. So there's, and Digitech has their series. So there's pedal boards that are, you know, factory. You can get the whole thing in there with a bunch of options, or you can take all your little pedals and a whole ton of cables and Velcro them onto a either a piece of wood, or in this case I'm using the pedal train PT2. So to get started here, first I laid out kind of what my, sorry, he's not going on the pedal board, which pedals I will be using and the signal path. And then after you do that, you kind of realize, okay, what cables do I need? So which pedals need to go to where, and which length cables do I need to go from cable to cable? For my board, I decided to use 9-inch cables between the pedals, and then I have a bunch of 18-inch cables as well, because I want to do something kind of different on the top row. So, but we'll get into all that. Again, the pedal train. This is just a piece of like aluminum. It's very lightweight. Just a piece of metal that you're putting stuff down to. You can build your own. I kind of like the design of this one, and I thought about building my own, but in the end, I just figured this would be the easier route. Ultimately, there's nothing difficult about putting together a pedal board. It's just rather time-consuming, and you have to factor in the cost of all your cables. Depends how many pedals you're doing. This is a very simple one. This is a 3-pedal board, and basically, here, I'll just put some pedals in there to get an idea. You have your pedals that go in there. There's a cover that goes over this. You put your power supply in there, and you're good to go. So you just need a couple patch cords, and it's a inexpensive setup. Throw like I said, throw 3 pedals in there, take it to a gig, and you're golden. Low cost and very effective. If you want to do something more fancy and get a whole bunch of options with different overdrives and delays and tremolos and whatnot, then you're looking to upgrade to a larger board, and that gets more complicated. And this is still a simple setup. I'm not doing multiple loops or anything like that. So let me dive into it. The first step, I have to attach all this Velcro to the board and then to the bottom of all my pedals. And some of these pedals, some of these pedals have little nubs on the bottom, and you have to take those off. Either they're glued on or they're screwed on in some cases. So again, this isn't just a quick slap it together project. Dedicate some time and make sure you have all the things you need, because the last thing you want is that you put your pedals down and you go to plug them in and your cables don't reach, and then your whole board is basically worthless until you get the cables. So plan it all out, buy your cables, buy your power supply, and we'll talk about that. And yeah, let me jump cut to when this thing is all Velcroed up. So I'll be back. Okay, and just like that, we're done. with step 1. So I got the Velcro on the board, and I got Velcro on the bottom of my pedals. Remember, you don't have to do the whole pedal. Just need to do it where the pedal goes on the board, because it's going to be, depends upon the design of your board, but you don't need to put Velcro obviously in the middle where there's no attachment. So that holds. And you might want access to information on the bottom of the pedal. You might need access to like the screws. This flashback pedal has an opening on the bottom, and there's some switches inside. So you want to make sure you have access to that. Again, you just will need the top and the bottom. So you don't need to coat the whole thing with Velcro. Alright, so I'm on to, that was step 1 of this, at least. Step 2, putting everything down and hooking up all my connectors. And then step 3 will be adding my power. And then I should be good to go. So, that's it. Let's flash forward to when this is all on the board. Okay, and now it's all wired up. So I'll walk you through what I did on my board. Your board's probably going to be different, and you'll probably have your own challenges. My challenge was I have this A/B switcher, which does inputs. I'll show you the side here. Has inputs and outputs. So 2 guitars in, 2 amps out, and then you run everything through an effects loop, which you can turn on and off. So this way you can switch between guitars or amps, but that also means that your pedal board has to start and end here, which became a challenge because most pedals are set up with an input on one side and the output on the other side. So you go across the board this way and you're done. If you have 2 rows, you take a cable from here, you go all the way back to the start over here, and then again you go left to right, or actually right to left, and you go over here, and you exit out the top here, and you're done. In my case though, I had to then get back to here. What I decided to do was to run the pedals this way, as normal. I got to here, I ran this up to the tremolo, and then I started going backwards across the board left to right, which required me to go from the output on one pedal all the way to this side to the input of the other pedal, output on this pedal, all the way around, input on this pedal, output on this pedal, all the way around to my loop. So I used a bunch of 18-inch cables for that. It worked out great, and that gave me more flexibility to arrange the pedals the way I wanted to do it. And I didn't have to use any 3-foot cables to go from end to end to end to end. And that's it. So, unfortunately, right now, there's my one spot. So I don't have any power yet. And doing a quick count of the pedals on the board, I have 10 pedals. So this one spot that I bought has 8 of these cool things, and it came with a bunch of adapters too, and one for a 9-volt battery. If you have like a vintage pedal that doesn't have any place to plug in power, you can use this little adapter thingy. But again, it only powers 8 pedals, and I have 10. So I have to then use another extension, which is a 5 extension, but it uses up one of these things to plug in. So you're getting 5 plus 8, which is 13, minus 1, which is 12. So this should power 12 pedals. So the next question is, I have enough cables to power 12? Do I have enough power? This one spot by Visual Sound is 1700 milliamps. Says it somewhere, I think. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. 1700. So you have to kind of look at your pedals and see what kind of power each one requires. I mean, not just 9 volts, but how many amps each one's going to pull. Because if you get over that amount to 1700, you're going to need another power supply. And there's other options out there like the fuel tank, and I think even now, I think Pedal Train does their own power supply too. And this pedal board has something underneath that you can, let me flip this around. There, you can take these little plugs out of here and you can put a power supply underneath. But some of them have isolated powers, some don't have isolated powers, some only have enough power to power 5 pedals, some don't have even 1700 milliamps. So I'm going to try the one spot. If I get too much sound, noise and whatnot, then I might have to do a second one spot or go with a different power supply. So that's it for now. I'm going to flip this thing over, zip tie some stuff down, and give my pedal some power, and then fingers crossed, this thing will be ready. Okay, and now we have power. See, just a snap of the fingers and it's all done. It's just that easy. Never mind the mess of cabling I did right here. It's actually not that bad. I'm gonna zip tie some stuff down a little bit better, so nothing's hanging. But I ran into a couple problems that I had to just kind of shift some pedals around a little bit to make space for poorly placed power outlets and stuff. And the only other thing I think is this top pedal has a power in the top here, and I'll probably just unplug that when I put it in a case. But otherwise, it all came out good. The next step, of course, is to plug it in, make sure everything lights up, then hook it up to an amp and make sure everything works. And then, of course, you have to dial all your pedals in so that they all work together with their outputs and everything. That's the fun part. So, yeah, I'm gonna get back to this this Pod HD 500. This pedal board, again, I took about probably an hour or two to design it before I even ordered any cables. I took all my pedals, I took just a part of the carpet, sorry, and put some tape down the carpet, and said this is the pedal board area I can work with. And there's of course different pedal boards you can buy of different sizes. So I tried to say, what can I squeeze all my pedals onto? And even then, when I got the pedal board, I said, yeah, maybe I can squeeze the wah on there, which I was able to. And you can always put the wah next to it, but I wanted the wah here. I might go with the mini wah at some point in the future, and that'll open up kind of another spot up there too. I have a couple more pedals I could put on. But this is the Pedal Train PT2, and like you see, I squeezed a bunch of pedals on there, including this huge Weeping Demon. And let me just run through my signal chain. I mean, it's pretty simple. Basically, tuner into the wah, booster. I have this is the JHS Warning Glory Overdrive. Very low gain, nice warm pedal. The Zen drive is kind of a classic rock drive, and then the OCD is much heavier. And I have a pedal review. If you look, and you'll at my other videos, and you'll see, I compare some of these how they sound. I have some more overdrive pedals, but these are the 3 that made the cut for my board. And the booster in front, you can put the booster after or somewhere in the middle if you want to boost the clean signal after the gain. So if you want to do a solo and you're using the Zen drive for crunch and you just want to boost it louder, you would put the boost after. For my purposes, I want to boost the gain, so I can be playing the Morning Glory and then kick the booster on and just jump the signal up, so I get more drive out of some of these pedals even. So kind of like overdrive. All right, so after the OCD, I go up to my tremolo. A bunch of my amps have tremolo, but some don't. I really miss it when they don't have it, so this pedal won't get used a ton, but I did want it for those amps that don't have tremolo. The Phase 90, this is the script logo version, whatever, the 74 reissue. It's a cool pedal I'm trying out, and it's you know, some people don't like it, some people love it, and I think it definitely deserves a space on my board. It's small enough for that. The last pedal I have in my chain is the flashback delay, and one reason I put it last was because it has a looper in it, so the loop function, so I can have a clean sound go into it, and then I can click on my overdrive and then lay over that with a crunchy drive, and I could put a tremolo sound over that, so I can layer the loops and have all my effects available to me. And again, that just goes back into this A/B switch with the effects loop, which is everything in the effects loop. So I can bypass the whole pedal board if I want to, and just run from the guitar into the out. And I have everything on this side now, so I just have to plug in right here my guitars, my amps, and then my power. Everything's right here, and that's the theory at least. Let's see if it all powers up and works. Okay, let's jump to that. Okay, everything's plugged in, everything's working, all the lights are coming on. Now we can have some fun. Of course, that will be in a different video, but thank you for your patience. You made it to the end, I made it to the end. This whole thing, I don't want to know what time it is right now, do I? Let me check. It is, oh, okay. So I put this together in about an hour and a half, taking some breaks to record this video for you guys. So expect a couple hours to put your pedal board together from start to finish, from planning to end, once you have all your stuff. So I ordered off Amazon, and that took, I was a cheapskate, I did the free wait forever shipping, and it took a week to get here. So, but, let's do a little test here. Alright, so I have, bypassing the whole pedal board, which is not the point here. So that's bypassing, true bypass, and then kicking in the pedal board with everything off. So I'm very happy I have almost zero signal loss. There's a little bit of noise, but I'm using a Stratocaster with signal coils. So, alright, that one works. Send drive. OCD. But you get the idea. Tremolo. Very subtle. I have it turned down a bit, but it's just gives a little bit of that shimmer to the sound. Whereas this MXR is not so subtle. And of course my delay. Alright, so you get the idea. It all works. No noises, fantastic, everything powers up good. I'm going to zip tie some stuff together, and that's my new pedalboard. So I'm happy. I don't think anyone else is happy for me, but I'm happy, so that's all that matters in my world. And I will be comparing this to, okay, this is a big project, and I have, 3 overdrives and a couple little effects and a tuner. Does this make any sense to go through all this trouble? And don't ask me how much this thing costs. And if my wife is watching, this only cost me $10. Everything was free. Yeah. But compare this to an all-in-one product, which has, don't even ask me how many, 50 different types of overdrive and, 40 different types of modulation effects and presets, so you can go from one to another, endless banks of stuff, whereas this you have to manually change every single time. Yeah, this was a project. And are these outdated now? It's 2015, and people are still using pedal boards like crazy, especially pro musicians. I see them using pedal boards all the time. I don't see them using these all-in-one units as much at the high level, but you go to a bar or something, or to a smaller venue, and these make a lot of sense because they just have everything in them, and you just endlessly tweak this thing. And there's a learning curve here. Don't get me wrong. To understand how this whole thing functions will take some time, whereas pedal boards are, they're pretty straightforward once you have everything plugged in. So that's my video. Thanks for sticking through it with me. If you didn't, well, you missed all the fun. And this is the board I'll be using to do comparisons between 2 guitars, 2 amps. Hopefully any future video I do will have this board in it. So I'm pretty happy that I finally got everything together, got everything ordered, and it was really about a month or 2 of planning, from just thinking about it to actually sitting down and sketching it out, to playing with how everything would go together, to ordering all the stuff I need. So if you can't tell from my voice, which you probably can't, I am very happy with this result. And hopefully your pedalboard project will go just as smoothly, and you'll have just as much fun with yours. If you have any questions about your pedalboard setup, feel free to drop me a line. I am certainly not a pro at this, but I did a lot of reading before I did this pedalboard, before I even started. So I have a little bit of knowledge now, and I can maybe point you in the direction of where I found my knowledge from. Subscribe to my videos, my channel, and watch some of my other videos. I have some cool stuff up there, and get ready for a whole bunch of new stuff, new content from my channel. Alright, Birdman out.